thought you were a corpo. Sent to silence me.
So you would have died anyway.
But on my own terms. The bastards control everything. But me, I get to decide when I go. I do. Tell Regina that, too. Not gonna break, not like her.
Heard your interview on the way up.
Started broadcasting the moment you showed up on the feed. It wasn't finished, not like I wanted it, but at least people got the truth.
Crime plagues Night City. On every corner, on every street, a real possibility of getting stabbed or robbed exists. Blink twice and you might miss the cyber psycho who just happens to have been bathing in human flesh and blood. In the boardrooms and the offices of the tallest buildings in the city, cold-blooded murder is being planned and executed. A lot is happening in this futuristic dystopian city. For an average citizen, the one place they can turn to find out the truth is the news. Whether on the TV or on the radio, journalists, editors, and staff writers synthesize the most relevant current events and give this information to the masses in bite-sized chunks. In a perfect world, this would be where the story ends. But Night City is absolutely not a perfect world, so we have a lot to talk about. We're going to take a look at how the elite in Night City dictate what should and shouldn't be on the news. We're also going to take a look at the brutal lengths that some journalists go to in order to get a good story. And we're even going to take a look at the second serial killer operating in Night City. Anthony Harris is not the only one. Let's dive right in. Chapter 1. On-Screen News Reporters. The reporters you see on screen in Cyberpunk 2077 are at the peak of their game. They are divided into two tiers, in my opinion. The first tier is known by most and honestly respected by some. They've cultivated relationships with the highest caliber of business people and politicians in Night City. Whenever there's an official statement from these powerful people, they will often use these journalists and these reporters as their outlet. Here we have the likes of Arif Iqbal and Gillean Jordan. Gillean Jordan specifically is more pro-NUSA and will sometimes even urge her viewers to call their representatives if they want to rejoin the NUSA. The second tier of on-screen reporters is a little bit different. Here we find journalists like Ruth Dzeng, Karina Lee, and Ziggy Q. These types of journalists are more quirky, they use comedy and colorful language to portray their message. They also sometimes have interesting guests that tell us some stories that are happening in the background in Night City. These journalists use entertainment as their vessel to deliver difficult news and difficult truths to the citizens of Night City. Some of them, mainly Ruth Dzeng, even go as far as criticizing the elite, which surprised me at first. This is definitely a form of soft resistance. It takes a lot of courage to do this in Night City because you could end up paying with your life if you go too far.
News seems Roy Levac, CTO of More Technologies, caused his limo to crash into a school bus, killing 10 kids. Levac was arrested on the spot and taken into custody where he'll await trial. He's likely to face up to 40 years in prison. Just kidding, he's way too rich for that. Nope, Roy hasn't been charged with anything. In fact, later that evening, he was at a charity event in City Hall to raise money for the children harmed in the accident. Again, kidding! Oh god, so naive. It's like people never even watch my show. Honestly, who cares about some snotty-nosed brats? The fundraiser was run by Councilman Gonzalez's election committee. But, Roy did express his deepest sympathies for the victims' families. Ah, damn it, didn't fool y'all that time, did I? Of course that's not true. In fact, Levac claimed he'd sue anyone for mentioning the limo accident in public and... Oh, shit. Well, Roy, my boy, looks like I'll be seeing you in court. But you know what? I got a big bank account too, and I love to see conceited pricks like you squirm. Got y'all again. Yeah, I may be rich, but what am I to a multi-bazillionaire like Roy? When he sends me that cease and desist, I'll have to drop my pants and apologize to the world. It's either that or be destroyed. Night City doesn't have superheroes, folks. And I think I'll end today on that. Good night.
Chapter 2: Investigative Journalists. The investigative journalists of Cyberpunk 2077 have some of the worst fates ever, maybe even worse than the mercenaries in Night City. The game gives us multiple examples of journalists who investigate things, and only a few of them end up staying alive by the end of the game. The reasons why each of these journalists is either persecuted or killed in the game is different. Here we see a brutal form of accountability from the elite. It's as if the rule of law is just a suggestion for the powerful. We can begin by looking at Lene Borowitz. Lene had been writing a series of articles on an elusive Night City serial killer, and one day she received an anonymous tip from someone claiming to have inside information, first-hand information about the killer. The source lured Lene into a meeting in downtown, promising crucial details that no journalist would resist. Lene, being the ambitious journalist she was, she said thank you very much. She got dressed and she headed to the meeting. Unfortunately, this informant, quote-unquote informant, turned out to be the very serial killer she'd been writing about. Lene was killed on site at the rendezvous point, and her body later discovered crammed inside a shipping crate not far from the scene of the crime. The only evidence of what happened is in an archived message that we find on her body, where we can see the exchanges she'd had with this individual. Serial killers are, however, an exception to the rule. Most of the time, it's corporations doing the killing.
You a corpo? Tell me, or I shoot.
Not a fucking suit. Name's V. Regina sent me.
Regina. Tell her she can get fucked.
Why the suicide threats, huh?
Thought you were a corpo. Sent to silence me.
So you would have died anyway.
But on my own terms. The bastards control everything. But me, I get to decide when I go. I do. Tell Regina that too. Not gonna break, not like her.
Max had built a reputation on exposing the hidden scandals of corporations. Among his most notable investigations was the case of Hunter Highland, a decorated veteran entangled in the shadow of atrocities committed during the Kendachi campaign. This campaign took place in South America, and it happened back in 2068. But Kendachi was unfortunately listening in. Phones had been tapped. The corporation intercepted Highland's messages and private exchanges with Max, and in a ruthless turn of events, which to be honest is not unexpected, they sent the Tiger Claws to silence him permanently. At the center of Max's inquiries was a program known as In Blood We Serve. Officially, it promised rehabilitation and dignity to former soldiers.
Then they packed up their cameras and forgot all about you.
Yeah. And get this. Those implants, we had to get them back. Replaced them with these first-gen pieces of garbage. They did us dirty, yo. Took everything from us, tossed us like...
It's okay. I understand.
Regina is one of the few journalists that doesn't end up dead or disappeared. Instead, she adapts. Honestly speaking, she is perhaps one of the most interesting journalists in Cyberpunk 2077. She started out as an independent journalist, working for World News Service and FTF Radio, even mentoring young reporters like Max Jones. When the station was bought out by the N54 corporate news empire, Regina refused to have her voice muzzled. She quit traditional journalism and leveraged her street contacts to become a fixer in Watson. This shift in career moves her from spectator to player in no time. Instead of just observing and reporting on the horrible things taking place in Night City, she can now do something to try and stop some of it. And honestly, she does. Regina Jones saves lives, literally. She stops 2 different human traffickers. She also tasks V with incapacitating cyberpsychos instead of killing them. This way, they can be studied and perhaps a cure can be produced. All things considered, she does a lot of good in Watson and in Night City in general. But despite all of this, if you are a true patriot and you believe in the NUSA, you should be wary of Regina Jones. Because Regina Jones, as some may know and some may not know, is an asset for the Chinese government. And if you press her enough during one of the quests where you need to steal something from Mikhail Akolov, the Russian or Soviet fixer, she will tell you the truth.
Shard is secured.
Nice work. Sending you the drop-off coordinates. Client will be waiting for you there.
Why do I feel like a corpo agent right now? What's all this about?
China. They're the client.
China, huh? Thought you never liked swimming with the sharks.
Everyone's got debts, V. You do what you gotta do.
What happens if you can't pay it off?
Why do you think we're scraping the barrel into gigs here? So I don't have to find out.
What kind of debt?
Just something from my muckraking days. Needed help and fast, too.
Help for what?
I'm sorry, do you hear me poking around your personal biz, digging through your past?
No. Suppose not.
Just teasing, V. Sorta. If it's all the same to you, I'd rather just get this over with and move on. So you heading to the meet or what?
I'm en route.
V, wait.
Yeah?
When you get there, no questions. Makes them real cranky.
Try my best.
Manuel Mendoza's pursuit of the truth ends up in tragedy. An N54 investigative journalist, Manuel was probing Biotechnica's secret human experiments known as Project Nightingale. We've talked about this project before on the channel, but it's basically where Biotechnica was doing horrible things to nomads. Anyways, Manuel persuaded a Biotechnica employee, Emilia Morton, to blow the whistle on the corporation's lethal testing on nomads. But before Emilia could go public, Biotechnica's Dr. Joanne Koch had her silenced by hired assassins. The corporation didn't stop there though. Koch had also ordered the assassination of Manuel Mendoza himself to ensure that Project Nightingale would stay buried. In-game lore reveals that Manuel is found dead under mysterious circumstances, effectively making him another victim to the harsh corporate punishments that journalists face in Night City. His investigation uncovered too much of the good stuff, and Biotechnica eliminated him to cover up their crimes. Zoli Barnes was an up-and-coming journalist whose demise is literally written off as a suicide. She became the latest victim in a string of suspicious deaths officially ruled self-inflicted, hence the gig named Serial Suicide. Zoli was reportedly investigating Night City's councilman Brad Norwood, a noted Militech sympathizer, and was on her way to meet an informant, just like some of the other journalists we've talked about today. But the problem here is that Zoli never made it out. Zoli fell onto the subway tracks at Memorial Park Station and was fatally struck by a train. All CCTV footage from the station was wiped. Witnesses kept quiet, and Militech agents showed an unnatural interest in the case. Her parents insisted Zoli would never have killed herself and suspected foul play, but these were just ordinary citizens. They had no power and no financial means to do anything about it. Indeed, all signs suggest that the young reporter was murdered to stop her expose. Again, the message here is clear: dig too deep, and you might just be digging your own grave. We've covered our bases so far, and now we get to the really good part. The one journalist who embodies everything that is insane with journalism in Night City is Bree Whitney. Normally you would hear journalists saying things like, "I need to protect my sources," or "journalists never reveal their sources," or perhaps things like, "journalists always protect their sources." But in this case, in the case of Bree, that would be wishful thinking. Bree is as cutthroat as they come, surprising absolutely no one. This particular attribute of hers made her very successful in Night City. We first see Bree standing outside Dogtown at the very beginning of the Phantom Liberty DLC, presumably waiting for someone to let her in, as she had no official documents, just like V. Once inside Dogtown, she makes her way through the most haunted building in Dogtown, and by the way, if you'd like to know more about this building, you can watch this video on my channel where I talk about why it's haunted. But, in any case, blows a hole into the side of the basement and hides in there. It's unclear when she contacts Mr. Hands, but V finally gets the call to go and help her out. First, we need to head back out of Dogtown. We need to go back to her apartment in the city and fetch a key card. When we arrive at her place, it's really surprising to see how she lives, given her profession and given how much we know normal journalists earn. If we look around the bedroom, it also looks like she's packing up her clothes in preparation for a trip. On her computer, we find her asking about different destinations, so she's definitely on her way out of Night City. After retrieving the keycard, we head back down to Dogtown and give it to Bree. If we come at night as instructed by Mr. Hands, Bree will be less startled. But regardless, once she has the keycard and we've met, it's time to get started.
Hold it!
Bree, right? Hands sent me.
You get the card? Not another step!
This what you wanted?
Yes. Sorry. But, you know, I can't trust anyone. Great, give me the card. We'll go inside. Shouldn't remain in plain sight.
Here. Might have mentioned this was about Militech from the get-go. You even listening to me?
Yeah, let's go. Okay, let's see if this does the trick. As far as I know, nobody's been here in the last decade. And the systems date back to 2013. Fingers crossed. We're in. Some of the security measures might still be active, so you go first.
Nope, not going anywhere till you explain a few things.
Oh. Didn't think I was paying you to ask questions, but okay. What do you want to know so badly?
Start with the card. Where'd you get it?
Borrowed it from the Militech archives. Pity for it to just keep gathering dust. Militech's not in the habit of sharing. So I'm gonna grab some of its secrets myself.
Knew a media once. You like to dig up Megacorp dirt, too. Tried to expose some veterans aid scam, a glorified corp PR campaign. Max Jones, WNS. Any buzzers buzzing?
WNS buzzer is. Don't know the man, but I envy him his job.
Think his position's vacant now.
What? Report didn't generate waves.
Max dropped it. I forced him to. Corp would have zeroed him for it.
I see. Truly motivating tale, that. Thanks for sharing. Now go in. See if it's safe.
Bree wants to expose Militech's secret project. It is forbidden by law to try and bypass the Black Wall, but Bree believes that Militech was doing this a decade ago, in secret.
Can't have bad luck all the time.
We made it. The mainframe. The host. Unbelievable. There's even files from the Third Corporate War here.
Yeah. Militech was tap dancing on its tits trying to keep Sokka from pushing him off the stage.
Shit. The oldest ones are encrypted. But wait. There's some newer footage. Dated 2068. Must be when they came back. Come here, take a look. Go on.
Yeah. Okay, it's recording. Senior Research Specialist Evan McCrae, this is day 3 of our expedition. We've moved some equipment to the bunker. The old rail system remains largely functional. They might have used it to transport heat exchangers from the lab once upon a time. There is a mountain of old research here. I'll see if we can find a use for any of it.
The bastards were trying to reopen the project.
Well, Caesar managed to breach one of the data forts. He found fragments of some outdated code. Command controls for a weapon, perhaps? All we need now is an AI to merge its findings. Lisa will probe the black wall for any potential gateways. Huh? Oh, right. Day 39. Thanks, Lisa.
Hear that? They wanted to breach the black wall.
Day 50, 5-0. We received orders from HQ to shut down and return home. They say we're not safe here anymore. Caesar's packed us. We await Lisa's return. The poor thing's been in the bunker for 2 days. Jacked in. Or is it 3? She just won't come out. She's trying to download the data from the fortresses, but we can't hope to take it with us if she does. Now that's it. I'm gonna get her, Caesar.
Shit! This is bigger than I thought. Militech using some rogue AI to augment their old weaponry? This is huge.
Yeah. Militech and some secret weapon. Street's been saying it for ages. Usually between worlds ending on Tuesday and Bart Moss is hibernating in a fridge.
Like other peeps haven't tried to contact Blackwall AIs. Failing to see the big break there.
Look, Voodoo Boys poking at the black wall is one thing, but one of the world's most powerful megacorps weaponizing a wild AI? Infinitely worse. When people learn Netwatch is busy hunting ordinary Joes while giving the megacorps free reign, imagine the outcry.
Look, if it mattered, would have been old news years ago.
Kidding me? You hear about Soul Killer? Now imagine a similar project, only Militech's pushing the buttons. These things change the world. And not for the better. At least not for people like us.
So we got it? Grab what you need, let's Delta.
Dante!
What the?
Howdy, Bree.
Hazed me once, won't do it again. Who the hell are you, really?
Dante Caruso, Militech Special Agent. Stand down. I'm here for Bree. Couldn't give half a shit about you. Knew she was hiding somewhere in the area. Knew you were looking for her. Just had to watch and wait. Thanks, kid. Hope you're not about to start defending her. Must have filled your head with all sorts of horse shit.
Bree can talk. Ask her yourself.
And what'll I hear? More lies? Spinning tall tales is her specialty. She tell you how she wrote articles for us mucking up the competition? Ah. Can see those gears churning now. Yeah. Bree worked for Militech.
That true?
Yes. Took the gigs because that meant I got access to their archives. You gotta believe me. He knows I'm close. He wants to stop me.
Another failure to communicate. You don't know my mind, but I sure as hell know yours, Bree. A flag in the wind's what you are. Whose pocket are you in right now? Arasaka? Netwatch? That quant you were pulling intel from. Caesar Maharez. You know they zeroed him, right?
What are you talking about?
Bree's just in it for the cred. Thing is, 'cause of her, they'll wipe anyone who touched the project. Including you. You want that?
He's just trying to scare us, V. You know that.
Allowing Bree to walk away here and killing Dante is the wrong choice in my opinion. I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here about it so we can just get it over with. Okay, so Bree ends up sacrificing 2 innocent people if she survives. She ends up sacrificing an innocent person who in my opinion has already gone through so much and she deserves to live the rest of her life in peace. Instead, just so Bree can get away, she gives up this innocent woman's name. The woman in question is Lisa Smith from the Cynosure files. At this point, when we meet Bree in Dogtown, one person has already gotten killed because of her. Cesar Mijares. Dante even mentions his name during the confrontation. If we let Dante do his thing, Lisa Smith at least survives and lives to see another day. And in addition to this, V is not hunted by Netwatch. Also, while we're at it, I did notice that in the latest version of Cyberpunk 2077, they made it so that it's the NCPD that come after V if Bree Whitney survives, not Netwatch. This makes absolutely no sense to me, mainly because the shard that you collect when you kill the attacking agents, this shard is still mentioning that they have taken care of Lisa Smith and that they need to go back and wipe their database. Why would the NCPD need to do any of that? The NCPD had no idea what was going on in those bunkers almost a decade ago. Like, there is no universe in which the NCPD would know something this crazy and keep it a secret for a decade. I don't think Militech would diverge that information, and I definitely don't think that Netwatch would diverge that information to the NCPD. It just doesn't add up to me. The only thing I can imagine is that Netwatch agents disguised themselves as NCPD when attacking V so that the attack isn't immediately tied back to Netwatch. If that's the case, then I get it. But if that's not the case, then this new change makes absolutely no sense to me.
Briefly, V. Netwatch has dispatched a hunter. As the quarry, exercise caution.
Say what?
Bree Whitney sold the Militech's data, then disappeared. Netwatch is now out to wipe anyone who came close to it. Occupational hazard. Take care of yourself, V.
It's one of Bree Whitney's list! Get him!
Neutralize the target!
Ugh.
Ugh.
Journalists in Night City are not all good and definitely not all bad. The complexities in their nature in no way justifies what ends up happening to them. It's important to understand just how competitive the industry is in Night City. And people in Night City have become so desensitized, any news coming in must be really dramatic, really interesting to get a reaction. Otherwise, they won't care. Journalists chase the most dangerous and depraved stories, even leading to their deaths at some point. This is just one of those many reasons why Night City truly feels dystopian. Having cyberware and all that good stuff is fine, but as you sit down and watch the news in the evening, in the back of your mind, you know that chances are high that someone ended up dying to get you the content that you are now watching on the news. In Night City, information is power, but it is power bought by blood.